G'day and welcome to Write the Docs Australia 2022 conference. So my name is Swapnil Ogale and I'm the conference chair for this 2022 event. So I work as a technical writer with Amazon Web Services Australia, and I'm currently working from my stand-up desk here in my home office, a place I'm quite grown comfortable with since the pandemic, and very happy to have you all here today. In the spirit of reconciliation, Write the Docs Australia acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to our elders, to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples today. Firstly, we miss all you lovely people. These photos are from our last three on-site conferences in Melbourne and Sydney. The Write the Docs Australia conference has seen the community come together at some really nice and unique events and venues. While we really miss this on-site event, the last 2 years has afforded us an opportunity to attempt something different. We had a cross-continent collaboration in 2022 with our Indian community too. So a big hello to the Indian community. We hope you're doing okay. Look, it's been a couple of rough years and we hope that everyone is okay. In case you're wondering about 2021, we took a deliberate pause on the conference in Australia last year just to make sure that we were in the right headspace to keep our community going. What are we doing here? This is a question we always ask every single year. We are an evolving community and we ask ourselves this question every single year, every event. Post pandemic, we are even more conscious of how we are catering to our members. Write the Docs is a community conference propelled by experiences of many wonderful folks who are passionate about documentation. Our primary goal is to build a community, connections, and a sense of belonging. So who's here today? Quite a diverse set of folks actually, but it's not all about, technical writers. We need more than career writers. We need to build bridges with our support teams, with our developers, with our marketing, sales, and everyone. And that is why everyone here at Write the Docs is a documentarian. Look, personally, job titles might be important when it comes to hiring and recruiting, but in this community, everyone is a documentarian. As long as you're passionate about the art and science of documentation, you're a documentarian in this community. Fifth Australian conference. I personally can't believe this is our fifth Australian conference. When we compare this to other conferences, though, like 9 years of the European one and 10 of the Portland one, which happened last year, we're still relatively young. So we're still sort of in our baby steps. And which is why I wanted this slide in this conference today. Well, this is our fifth year of the Write the Docs Australia AU conference I'm involved in organizing. And yet it feels like year one, a reset, especially after the pause that we had last year. It definitely feels like year one. So we had to relearn everything that we knew about the conference and organizing and everything. So it's year one again. But the good thing about this community is we always value your feedback. So give us ideas, provide us feedback, even small improvements. We might not act on them right now, but we want to make things better for everyone in the community. So, what's your job today at the conference? Your job today is to make friends, to learn something, to have fun. Because we refuse to believe that work has to be separate from fun. I mean, how do we get along with other people? How we act in this space is how the community will feel. So we're welcoming, we make sure you're welcoming, you're open, you're supportive and positive towards everyone who's here at the conference today. Now, Eric had this Pac-Man rule that he sort of started off with our very first conference in Portland. It's taken on a different shape over the last couple of years since we actually don't have groups of people in a room yet. The main gist of it, the Pac-Man rule, is still the same though. If you are following an interesting conversation in a session, or if you're in a hallway session, don't be afraid to ask to turn on your audiovisual and join the discussion. If you're having a conversation in a hallway somewhere online and you see a lot of new people joining, but you're not sharing your audiovisual or they're not sharing that, feel free to invite them to join you. So the Pac-Man rule, it looks a little bit scary on the picture itself, but what it means is always keep some room open for more people to join in the community, in the discussion and share their experiences. Now, building on that Pac-Man rule, I think we've got something called as the Snowball Rule now. I see a lot of folks here today from other events, which is great. But there's always people who are always new to the community, new to the conference. So everyone who's new here today for the first time signing into an Australian or the Write the Docs conference, welcome. Look, the Snowball Rule is pretty simple. If you're new, you're encouraged to meet at least one person every day. So the rule is basically, for every year that you've attended this conference, we encourage you to meet one new person every day. But if you're a veteran like me, you've got more work to do. This is my sixth conference, and I've also done like more Portland ones. Actually got more work to do, meeting new people, and that's what I enjoy. Look, you have permission to meet anyone who is here at the conference through various channels. So I'll go through what the platform looks like in a minute, but you also have the permission to maintain your mental health. If you think you need to take some time out from the conference today, feel free to jump off. That should be pretty okay. Just a quick note on our screenshot policy here. Always, before you take a screenshot of any live sessions for social media talks, it's just ask. It's just polite. And not because not everyone's willing to publish their photos. So think of it as a lanyard. People don't want their names or photos on a public platform, and we got to make sure we respect that. We do have a very sort of a good code of conduct, and it's a minimum. Look, it's not a standard, but at least we need to have a code of conduct because it applies to all of our conference related spaces, including the one-on-one chats in the platform. And we follow a very standard process, which will keep reporter's name confidential. The idea is to create a space, to create a community where everyone's welcoming, everyone's happy to share, and they don't feel uncomfortable. So what happens if you think there's some issues during the conference? Talk to an organizer or someone at the help desk. If you have any issues, you can also email through the conduct at Write the Docs for at any time. And I guess the rule is this: if you're not sure whether it's a code of conduct issue, just let us know anyway, just so that we are aware of what happens in these spaces, and if we can make this space a little more welcoming, and we sort of address this right away. All right, so here's what we're going to do over the next 2 days. The main stage. So on the platform, on the left of your screen, you'll see quite a few tabs. There's stage and session. So the main stage is where all the main talks happen. So there's a wide-ranging content from beginners and experienced folks, and not just only for writers. So we've got quite a diverse set of talks today and tomorrow. Live captions are also available for all the presentations. We'll post the link in the chat. So if you want to follow up on captioning, we've got live captioners today. So a big call out to Carmel and her wonderful team from Captions Live. So we've got live captions available for presentations, the Q&A sessions at the end of the talks, and also lightning talks. And the link will be pinned in the chat window. Also, I'd highly encourage you to put your hand up for lightning talks or leading unconference sessions. They're immense fun, and this is a great way to interact with the community. And if you've got those jitters, I used to initially have them as well. Put your hand up, submit a lightning talk proposal, or lead an unconference session. Because remember, you could be up here on the stage next year. Right, so let's move into lightning talks. So they work as a great icebreaker. If you feel you have a doc story in you, I'd highly recommend you to submit a lightning talk. How do they work? You can use the sign up link. We'll post this in the chat window as well to propose a topic you'd like to talk about. The lightning talk coordinator, which is Gaurav, for the next 2 days, we'll keep an eye out for applications, and we'll let you know if your talk has been accepted just before the break. So prepare your talks. Slides are optional. The lightning talks are 5 minutes, no longer. We'll definitely cut you off if you go over that 5 minutes. But just be aware of there's multiple people presenting. So keep it to 5 minutes, and slides are completely optional. So do your talk live right after the break. Righto, unconferences. So unconferences happen both days after the break, and they run in parallel with the main stage talk. So in the morning, if you've seen the schedule, we've got the workshops and I'll go into that in a minute, but the unconference happens right after the break and they run in parallel. Anyone here can host or lead an unconference. You can submit your unconference idea in the Excel sheet link. Again, we'll post this in the chat window. And if you want to attend or join a particular unconference session, just turn up at the virtual table corresponding with the topic at that specific time. So we usually have unconferences in 30-minute slots. A couple of things to keep in mind: don't let anyone take over in a conference. Again, it's one of those, nice and good cozy sort of space where you share your experiences. Keep the sizes reasonable, and make sure you include all voices, because that's what this community is about. You make sure everyone's got their opinions, everyone's got their, they can share their knowledge, and keep things on topic if needed. We do have a unconference coordinator, which is Jennifer, for the next couple of days. So she'll probably be hopping on to every sort of table at the unconference, just making sure everything's, there's no issues. And if you have anything, just let her know. The social event. So this year, the social event will be driven totally by you. All the unconference tables during the day, they turn into mini social events based on your interest. So use the session schedule link. We'll put it in the chat window again to propose an event. You can, you can have your own trivia going. You can do online chats about pets. Just make sure the code of conduct applies to the social events as well. So just be mindful of that. The welcome wagon. So there'll be a few people at the help desk in the expo session on the expo tab that can answer all your questions. We do have a welcome wagon guide with frequently asked questions on the website as well. And there's some other spaces that you should probably be aware. So there's the help desk, like I mentioned, in the expo tab. There's hallway sessions. These are unstructured sessions for conversations and meeting new people. So these are separate from the unconference. So there's hallway 1 and hallway 2. You'll see in the platform, you can jump there anytime and, just chat with your fellow attendees today. And then obviously we also have chats on the platform for doing one-on-one or small group or private conversations. So I think the chat, you can do a one-on-one chat, or you can have a small video, but that can only allow up to 5 people for a group session on the chat functionality. And then we have the Slack channel, right? The doc conferences, which we use as a backup platform for any sort of announcements or technical issues. So just make sure you're also onto, if you haven't signed up for that Slack, make sure you're on that channel as well. A community conference like this simply wouldn't be possible without these people. So thank you to all our speakers, volunteers, and all our attendees for making this conference for what it is. So we've got some fantastic sponsors this year. Atlassian and Knowledge Owl, they've been our supporters for the Write the Docs Australia community specifically for a number of years, and a big shout out to them for supporting this community down under. Right. So this is what the staff and volunteers. So we've got a pretty good team of people all over Australia, and also from our main sort of core team of Eric and Mikey and Samuel, Sasha, and Bart, who help out with the conference. So this conference, again, wouldn't be possible with these wonderful people. So thank you, everyone, for chipping in. Before we get into the talks directly, I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of Write the Docs Australia, the community itself. So globally, if you look at the Write the Docs global community, it has now regular conferences that span and events that span, time zones across US, Europe, and Asia, and the Asia Pacific regions. We have meetups happening across 25 cities on a regular basis, and over 19,000 members on Slack. So that, I remember when I joined the community way back in, I think it's 2016, there was only about 6,000 or 7,000. So in the last 6 years, it has tripled. So it's just a testament that it's a really good community to, if you want to share your experiences, you want to chat about something, rant about something, everyone's on Slack. And there's so many channels that have been so useful for so many members over the years. Okay, so distilling that down to the Australian community, we have now on the meetup side of things, we've got over 1,070 members who have registered for our events over the last 6 years. We've got over 230 members in the Australian Slack channel. And we've had over 60 events, like in terms of meetups on site and also virtual events in the last 6 years since mid 2016, including 4 conferences. Like I said before, this is the 5th conference and I'm really excited. So looking at the future of Write the Docs, the community as a whole, we're trying to build projects that we can all invest in. So things like style guide, linting tools, a career or writing guide. So we are aware that the pandemic is not over yet in some ways, so we have to make sure we're supporting the event teams in whatever way we can. Um, we're investing in global projects that support the community beyond the events. And next year, I think we've already announced a couple of conferences. One of them is the Portland one, which will be an on-site conference after 3 years. I'm really looking forward to that. And also, we've announced our Atlantic conference next year, which will be a virtual event that spans across the Europe time zone. We tried to plan a hybrid, but it look hybrid is hard, and I don't. We're not seeing that value. Giving it back to the community. So it is what it is. We haven't actually have had any plans made for the Australian ones yet, but keep your eyes open for that one. We'll have some announcements for the Australian conference next year as well. So, right, how do you contribute to the community then? You can build, like I said, the community needs a lot of things. We need good content. So on the website, you'll see a lot of people putting up guides and blogs, and also videos. On we also had podcasts. So we need a lot of these things. So we have built it. You can contribute by things that we are all sort of passionate about, things like style guides, linting tools, and we have a lot of places where people can help. So reach out to us if you think you want to contribute to the community. We've just updated our team page on the community website, and we've got a new plan in place with the community and the way it's growing rapidly. This is always a question that a lot of people within the community and also people outside the community have asked. Is there a membership to write the docs? Look, we're still considering membership plan options. Right now, everything is still free. It's accessible to everyone, and that's the way it is. Our supporters get swag, so things like our t-shirts and a vote of thanks as well. Look, the community really wouldn't be possible because of unless it's people like you who are contributing to the community in whatever shape and form. So the next question really is, how can we help you? Let us know how can we help you? This is our guiding principle. The community only functions because of its members. So what's the best way we can help you? Let us know. And you can stay in touch with the Write the Docs through the Twitter channel. We've got the Slack channel as well. Like you said, we've got over close to 19,000 members on Slack. And you'll see a lot of activity on other social media as well. So yeah, that's all from me today. So next up, what's going to happen is we are going to have the Good Docs Projects workshop starting here on the stage tab in terms of an introduction. And then we'll take it from there. We'll have more announcements through the chat windows and also through the stage tab. So stay on the stage tab for a little while. Later, after the break, after the workshops, we have a lunch break in the Australian time zone. So after the break, we will be back on this stage tab with our wonderful MC, Jared Morgan, and our speakers for today. So that's everything from me. I really hope you enjoy the conference. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's multiple ways. Like I said, you can reach out through the Slack channel. We are also here on the chat on the platform. So yeah, make the most of it and have a really good conference. Thank you.